Welcome to the Upside Down Show. We're going to be starting a new series this week on the covenants that God has made. So if you go back and watch last Big Word Wednesday, you'll see that we did the word covenant. And from here on out, we're going to be doing a video on each of the Old Testament covenants that God has made, starting today with Noah and the rainbow.
The Noahic covenant is a covenant that God made to all living creatures right after Noah and his family got off the ark.
So God has punished all of the wickedness on the earth by wiping out everything with a flood, and now that Noah is off of the ark, God is going to speak to him.
First, God reminds us who he is and that his first commandment was to populate the earth.
He also tells them that they're now allowed to eat meat, which we assume means that before the flood, no one did.
Then, God makes a promise to Noah that he will never again destroy the earth by water.
He gives him a sign to mark this covenant, or this agreement between God and man, and that sign is a rainbow in the clouds.
Now, this is God giving a permanent reminder of the way that he interacts with people.
Now, every time it rains, there's a visual reminder in the clouds that God judges wickedness, but that he's willing to save a select few.
So, today we're gonna experiment with colors a little bit. We're gonna take a colorblind test to see if Kevin and I are colorblind.
Now, you may have seen these online before. Basically, it's a number hidden inside some beads or dots of a slightly different color, and if you're colorblind, you're gonna have a hard time differentiating between the number and the other dots. So we're gonna make Stacy take this test, and that's a bit of a tongue twister. Stacy, take this test. We're gonna make Stacy take this test.
Say that 5 times fast.
We're gonna make Stacy take this test. We're gonna make you, Stacy. I'm gonna give you the test here. This is just a standard colorblind test. I'm gonna do this to you, and then we're gonna see if we can make you temporary colorblind. But first of all, take a look at this and tell me what number you can see.
5.
Okay.
9. 7. 3.
Now, for those of you following along at home,
9. 5.
I'm curious to know, and you can let us know in the comments whether or not you can see these numbers as
8.
well. It's apparently more common in men than in women, is what we've learned. But it's not uncommon to be colorblind.
3.
You think that's a 3?
I think it's
Okay.
a 3. 4.
Okay, let's see your results here. Okay, so it says that Stacy has normal color vision, so she's not colorblind at all. Now, what we want to try today is to see if we can cause a temporary color blindness. So I'm going to turn this lamp on, and we'll give you this water bottle. It just has a little bit of water in it. And you're going to look through it, and you're going to look right at the light, okay? Don't try this at home, kids. So basically the theory here is that if you can overwhelm your eyes with a certain color, in this case red, then your brain will start to filter out that specific color. So the idea is that, and normally you would use red glass panes, thick glass panes, but thick red plastic will kind of do the trick too, hopefully. But essentially what we'll do is we'll overwhelm your brain's receptors of red so that it stops receiving those, and then we'll take this again, and ideally, hopefully, you won't be able to see red anymore. Temporarily. Hopefully it's temporary.
I hope it's temporary. So the light is starting to look green.
Green?
Yes, everything else is red, but exactly where the light is, it's green.
This is green.
That's green. But everything else is red.
Alright. Alright.
Everything is kind of more orange than red at this point.
Okay, we're ready to start. So drop the water bottle, and here we go. We'll take the test again. What do you see? Turn the light off.
Nothing. Two, 9, 1, nothing, 6, 7, 4,
Is it significantly harder to see the numbers?
1, some of them, 7, 8, 1, 3, 9,
Okay, well I'm curious to see the results here, but that was dramatically different. Yeah, you are definitely colorblind there. Now that's interesting. It says that you can't see blue and yellow, which is interesting because of red. But I noticed right away the first 3 or 4 you answered were definitely wrong. Like, and it wasn't like some of them are difficult to see, and I'm not colorblind, but some of them are difficult for me to see. But you were answering incorrectly for ones that were very obvious. So we most definitely made you colorblind, even just with 5 minutes in that red bottle. Mm-hmm. That was a dramatic difference for you.
It was weird, because it was, like, the first time I took it, I could see it. Like, the first ones were so easy to see. And
yeah, you were snapping them right off.
And then as soon as I, like, looked through the red for a while, I, like, couldn't see a thing.
But I think you also improved as you went along in the test. Like, it wore off pretty quickly, because the first few... you couldn't see at all, but those same colors came up later and you didn't have a problem. So I think it wore off pretty quickly, but you definitely, well, you tested for color blindness, but I could see you answering things either incorrectly or you couldn't see things that were very obvious to me, which obviously didn't happen on your own.
The big story of the Bible is centered around Adam and Jesus and how their disobedience or obedience brings death or life into the world.
All the historical events that happened between Adam and Jesus, including the flood and the rainbow, are reminders of what went on in the garden and what Jesus was someday going to do to restore all things. So every time you see a rainbow, you can be reminded of God's covenant with people. So check out our previous video in this series on covenants, and also check out our last video. We got more coming your way soon. Make sure you don't miss out on any of them by clicking the subscribe button. And this is going green. I know exactly what you're saying. The light is turning green. That is so weird.